and I am still healing, and it is harder than hurting. Trust me when I say that. I am trying. I have been in denial for a little bit. I walked away to get clean. I tried to go take my life back.
Is Ali Carter being silenced?
I'm sure she is. I hope it's not my fault.
So who's on that list? We all know, well, some of us, who majority of the list is. You know that. Let's be real here. You've seen the black books. You've seen I don't know how many books of the laptop from hell. You've seen the list of people that have come out I don't know how many times. You know who's on that list.
Man, you won't believe this. Ali Carter got straight up silenced after she dropped Diddy's $50 million bribe list to the FBI. And they even blacked out some of the names. This mess ain't just about Diddy anymore. We're talking about a giant web of secrets pulling in big celebs, churches, hotel beds, and a whistleblower who just vanished into thin air. But what if this whole thing wasn't some random meltdown? What if Ali wasn't just some Hollywood insider who lost it under the pressure? This drama is deeper than that. It's all about who threw stacks of cash to bury the truth and who made sure Ali Carter got shut down for good. And the wildest part? Jaguar Wright might have played a part in helping them keep her quiet. Let's slide back to right before Diddy's big federal trial was supposed to start. Ali wasn't just popping off online for clout, she was a legit witness on paper. Her testimony wasn't just important, it was the smoking gun.
I have not been subpoenaed for the black carpet event that they are calling a Diddy trial. They are not talking about the show ever. When they start to talk about the children, because as of right now, they're not talking. We're not talking about the children, protecting the children.
A key witness in the Diddy trial has gone missing. This is super concerning because she is crucial for the case against one of the biggest names in music. She was actually going under a pseudonym like 3 other witnesses in the case, but she decided to waive that right and reveal her identity in her testimony. But now she's MIA.
She said she knew all about the wild parties, the payoffs, the hush cash, and even shady stuff involving kids. Court insiders said her voice note was so explosive that the prosecutors played it during their opening. But when it was time to hit that courtroom, she was gone. The judge called her up, but nothing. She straight disappeared. Even crazier, her words still got into the case file. Here's where it gets spooky for real. There was a mystery person in the case called Victim 3, and their story matched Ali's almost word for word. Victim 3 claimed Diddy assaulted her after giving her a drink, brought another dude into it, told her she'd never be believed, and said Christina Cora set it all up. Christina, Diddy's so-called right hand, was the same woman Ali called the Ghislaine Maxwell of hip-hop. Sound familiar? Ali had dropped these same bombshells months before, and in crazy detail. Man, why would the prosecutors drop Ali's claims in their opening statement if she wasn't even there?
Who's on that list? We all know, well, some of us, who majority of the list is. You know that. Let's be real here. You've seen the black books. You've seen I don't know how many books of the laptop from hell. You've seen the list of people that have come out I don't know how many times. You know who's on that list.
That's where the real theory starts heating up. And trust me, this ain't just some random Reddit rabbit hole. Folks are convinced Victim 3 is actually Ali Carter. But instead of blasting her name out, they kept it low-key to cover up her sudden disappearance. Because the second the world figures out Victim 3 is Ali, the court would have to explain how they let a key witness just vanish like that. And hold up, this ain't just some tinfoil hat talk. Ali herself warned everyone this might go down. In a live video that went viral, she said her address got leaked, weird dudes were following her around, and her whole crib got trashed. Crazy, right? So think about it. How does a woman go from being a locked-in witness in one of the wildest celebrity RICO cases to poof, gone off the map? Something shady is definitely happening here. Now, let's get into that list. We're not talking about some random notes on a napkin. This was the bribe list. Ali said she gave it straight to the FBI. She knew exactly who was on that list. Word is, it had a full breakdown showing how Diddy allegedly dropped over $50 million to shut folks up. Victims, witnesses, hotel workers, even jurors. Nobody was safe.
If we talk about the children on the Diddy trial, if we actually talk about it, then that opens the door to who else is child protection government funding. That's why we're not touching the children. That's why we're not talking about it. Because it's going to open a can of worms that nobody can cover back up. That's going to shoot that shot heard around the world that you can't put the bullet back in the for that one. You just can't. You can't. You can't. And so many will hear that in a way that you can't unhear it and unsee it.
And instead of sending that money the dumb way, he funneled it through the one place nobody really checks, the church. Allie didn't just snitch on Diddy's name alone. She claimed the hush money wasn't coming from his own account at all. She said it was getting washed through religious groups, some of which were tied to his victims and even his own defense crew. Aight, let's start with the one that's straight up the most disturbing. California Community Church. Ring a bell? It should. That's the same church Kris Jenner launched back in 2012. The one where you gotta cough up $1,000 a month just to be a member, and they make you drop 10% of your income as tithes. Folks thought it was just a slick Kardashian tax shelter at first, but according to Allie, nah, it's way darker than that. She claimed the church wasn't just helping the Kardashians duck taxes, it was moving dirty money to pay off Diddy's victims under the front of charity work. And yo, it gets even crazier. Lou Taylor. Yeah, the same Lou who allegedly helped trap Britney Spears in that twisted conservatorship. She's on the board too. So here's how Allie said it went down. Lou Taylor handled all the money moves.
How young are some of the children that are there?
Babies. There are been there since they were babies, but they're adults.
Diddy would slide big donations into California Community Church and Hillsong. Then those donations got flipped as so-called charity grants. But guess what? That money never touched the people it was supposed to help. Instead, it got funneled into fake orgs that paid off victims, witnesses, and even jurors' family members. All this shady stuff got covered under IRS protected charity status. Wild, right? And don't think this is some far-out theory. Lou's been hit with these kinds of accusations before. Mike Lohan said she tried to lock Lindsay Lohan into a conservatorship trap. Britney's dad even blamed Lou for building that whole financial prison Britney was stuck in. After the Astroworld mess, Lou's name even popped up in lawsuits over shady hiring and discrimination. Now buckle up for the wildest part. Allie claimed the FBI chopped out the real dirt from the bribe list. The names they allegedly blacked out, those were the ones tied to kids.
The time he locked me in containers with his shipment of kids. There were kids in there that didn't speak English. There were kids that were sick and that were already dying. There were babies. There were babies that were 6 years old, and I'll never forget them just crying, and everybody was just staring at them.
She put Maureen Comey on blast. That's the same prosecutor on Diddy's case and daughter of former FBI boss James Comey. Allie said Maureen purposely skipped over all the child-related accusations to keep them buried. That contradiction? Oh, it was totally on purpose. Once you throw the word child in the mix, everything explodes, charges stack up big time, and prosecutors ain't trying to deal with that smoke at all. But yo, what Allie uncovered after that was so wild and dark that folks thought she was just making it up for clout. Allie had already been warning people about these so-called baby farms for a minute, and she dropped one of her darkest bombs yet in that viral live. Let's be super clear. What Allie said about Diddy's inner circle wasn't no Hollywood turn-up. She called it straight ritual exploitation. These freak-offs weren't just some wild hookups with famous folks. Nah, they were set up to destroy people mentally, break them down, and turn them into straight-up property. And here's the most chilling part. Minors were allegedly brought in, groomed and used. Allie claimed she was just 15 the first time they dragged her into one of those parties. She detailed everything, how they picked her, how they styled her up, and how they told her she should feel lucky to be around those Hollywood heavyweights.
They tried to feed us. And I remember it because when you have to do orders, jobs like that, you don't eat. You're not allowed to eat. You actually have to like starve yourself, because this is about to get a little bit dark. So if you got a faint stomach, or if you just can't be doing it right now, just go. Don't even try to. It's a lot. It's about to get a lot. So just, here's your time. Exit. When you have to do those type of jobs, you can't eat because you will throw up.
She didn't hold back at all and explained every step of what went down. But who was the mastermind behind all this? How do you run something so twisted without getting caught? That's where Christina Coram slides in. KK wasn't just Diddy's assistant. She was his main organizer, handler, fixer, and the one putting out all the fires behind the scenes. Diddy even posted on Facebook saying, "Don't know how I'd function without her." According to Allie, KK was the one setting up all the freak-offs, from booking entire hotel floors to putting together special kits for each room. Allie said KK was on top of every detail. Those kits? They reportedly had everything from baby oil to Plan B pills, and even untraceable items nobody could trace back. Insane, right? Man, it gets even darker from here. Allie said those party kits didn't just have substances and forms. They took it way beyond that. She claimed some of the stuff at those parties crossed into straight-up ritual territory. We're talking symbolic violence, not just exploitation. Allie mentioned wild setups like human Wheel of Fortune games and forced humiliation rituals, all happening right under the watch of billionaires, pastors, and big-name moguls.
There's so many people who wanted me to be a witness on this trial, and I want to explain jurisdiction. I know some people don't understand jurisdiction, so let's talk about it. If you got a ticket in Utah, let's say you got a ticket in Utah, and you live in Georgia, but you decided to leave from Utah after you got your ticket, go to Georgia and say, I'm walking into this courthouse, and because I chose this courthouse, I'm deciding that I'm gonna do my court here because I said so. That's what I'm doing. I don't care about jurisdiction. I don't care about the law. It's the same thing with, you see the people and the things with the immigrant and the border situation just coming in and deciding, I don't want to follow anybody's rules. You got to follow our rules when you go into other countries, but I don't want to follow anybody's rules just coming in.
In one live session, Allie described a sick method where young victims were allegedly fed certain foods to make them violently ill, and they had to stay like that as part of the twisted show. She said, "They tried to feed us, and I remember it because..." And you can feel the horror in her words. And yo, this ain't just Allie talking out of nowhere. KK's name actually shows up in at least 3 separate lawsuits as Diddy's go-to fixer. That's wild. Now let's talk about Jaguar Wright. She was supposed to be one of the realest truth tellers out there. She built her whole brand on exposing the Hollywood elite. She said she survived the music game and came out swinging at heavyweights like Jay-Z, Beyonce, Diddy, even Bishop T.D. Jakes. So when Allie stepped up with her story, it made total sense that Jaguar would stand with her. And at first, she did. Jaguar even said Allie was in danger and that if she went into witness protection, we'd probably never see her again. But out of nowhere, Jaguar did a full flip. Just as fast as she backed Allie, she turned on her and went public with it. Like, how do you go from saying she's telling the truth to she's crazy in just a week? Jaguar didn't stop there either. She hopped online, clowning Allie with weird kitty taunts that had everyone confused. Allie wasn't about to let that slide, though. She came back swinging, calling Jaguar a wolf in truth teller's clothing.
I am hurt, I am angry, and I am still healing, and it is harder than hurting. Trust me when I say that. I am trying. I have been in denial for a little bit. I walked away to get clean. I tried to go take my life back. I wanted some type of peace. I wanted to give a damn about somebody saying they love me just because they love me. I didn't want anybody because they wanted me or my body or what they could do to me. I'm nobody's puppet. I'm nobody's toy. I'm nobody's punching bag anymore, and that's all I ever wanted. Do you hear me?
Allie accused her of running a whole hustle, extorting folks for info, and dropping scandal crumbs just to get clout, followers, and cash on Patreon. And yo, Allie wasn't the only one thinking Jaguar's vibe had taken a dark left turn. Jaguar always acted like she had all the inside tea, like she was the ultimate truth teller. But as soon as Allie started dropping real heavy receipts, Jaguar's whole energy switched up. She started backpedaling on her own claims and even started capping about her old accusations. Check this out. Jaguar once said she got groped by Jay-Z back when she was singing backup. But when YouTuber AT2 pressed her about it later, she straight denied ever saying it. Like, huh? Then came that Tony Busby situation. Jaguar went live bragging that she was in touch with Busby's law firm. But Tony Busby's team popped up and shut that down real quick. So now we got a pattern for real. No wonder fans started labeling her controlled opposition. If you don't know, controlled opposition is when someone acts like they're fighting the system, but in reality, they're playing for the other side. Their job is to muddy the waters, confuse everybody, and keep folks from seeing the real truth. One fan even said, Jaguar Wright has changed. She's moving in a whole different direction. So ask yourself, why is Jaguar chillin' on big mainstream shows like Piers Morgan, while Allie Carter is out here hiding for her life? Why is Jaguar getting awards for freedom of speech from these political groups, while Allie's house literally burned down? At this point, Allie wasn't just a whistleblower, she turned into a full-on problem for powerful folks. So where is she now? Let's talk about her last live stream. The one that should have been breaking every headline but instead got buried deep in TikTok's algorithm graveyard. In that final stream, Allie finally spilled why she never pulled up to court. And now, the jury finally dropped its verdict. Diddy was officially found guilty on 2 counts of transportation to engage in illegal acts. That basically means the jury believed he moved folks across state lines for shady business. That charge alone is no joke. But at the same time, he got found not guilty on the heavier stuff. They cleared him on the charges that claimed he forced or manipulated anyone into those acts. It's messy! Fans are calling it unfair and think he's about to walk free way sooner than anyone expected. Can you even imagine how Allie must feel right now? She's gotta be crushed seeing it play out like this. You feel me? So what happens now? Allie's gone, and no one's even asking the real questions. Like, why did Christina Koram suddenly step down and disappear after being named in not 1, but 3 lawsuits? Why did Jaguar Wright switch up her whole story the second Allie started talking about churches and prosecutors? Why did that bribe list get sealed just days after Allie vanished? And the biggest question of them all? Why is nobody digging into this? If you're sitting there wondering what's next, don't. Allie already told us there's gonna be more freak-offs and more victims. She warned us plain as day. But one thing's for sure, Allie Carter's story ain't done. Because for every bag of hush money they dropped to erase her, someone out there saved a copy of those receipts and they ain't scared to leak it.